BCSN, home of racing's biggest events, proudly presents Summer at Saratoga.
It is America's oldest sporting venue since 1863. The best of the best in American thoroughbred racing have traveled to Saratoga for a summer meeting like no other. In that time, the track has hosted the greatest names in the game, and they all started as juveniles. Each year for more than a century, the Spa has played host to a tradition that looks towards the future. 2 races for 2-year-olds to begin a trip that just 2 years ago stretched all the way to the Belmont Stakes winner's circle.
Union ranks in the Belmont Stakes!
Today, 2 fields of juveniles enter the gates with high hopes. Who among them will take that next step towards greatness? There's a lot of history in the future. It's Summer at Saratoga. Another picture-perfect afternoon in Saratoga Springs, New York. Celebration continuing for this 150th season of racing. Fans getting a chance to meet their favorite jockeys and a 4-star Dave bobblehead giveaway, as if you needed another reason to spend a day at the racetrack known as the Spa. Summer at Saratoga continues today with a pair of stakes races loaded with history. The 97th running of the Adirondack and the 108th running of the Saratoga Special. John Deere weather and track condition report. Couldn't ask for a better summer day at the Spa. Temperature in the mid-70s. No wind or humidity to speak of, and a fast main track for today's featured events. Welcome everyone to Saratoga. I'm Lafitte Pinkai, and today part of what makes Saratoga so intriguing. It's the 2-year-olds, the Adirondack Stakes and Saratoga Special, a combined 205 years of history. Essentially, these are the stars of tomorrow. Who knows, maybe a potential Kentucky Oaks or Derby starter for next season. We'll see this afternoon. But first, some of the highlights of today's show. We've reached the halfway point of the meet. You'll see the midway report. Also, those 2 stakes races for 2-year-olds, the Adirondack, and of course the Saratoga Special, and a Travers Stakes preview. The Midsummer Derby is less than 2 weeks away. The Adirondack is about 9 minutes out. Here's a look at the field. A grade 2 event, $200,000 is the purse. 2-year-old fillies. Untappable is a scratch. 50 Shades of Gold, the heavy favorite at 3-5, and make the jockey on hop the 6 at the bottom, Javier Castellano. We have 2 Hall of Fame jockeys riding in today's Adirondack. Here's another, Jerry Bailey, and that is in the 1994 edition with Seeking Regina. Sensational on this afternoon. She never won another race. 6 years later, Bailey at it again. She was just getting started. Raging Fever was her name, racing until she was 5 while earning $1.4 million. Now joined by Hall of Fame jockey Jerry Bailey, racing expert Randy Moss. And Randy, we start with Clarence Scarborough, who owns the favorite, 50 Shades of Gold. Scarborough has not started a horse here at Saratoga in 26 years, but the last one he did was a pretty good one.
One of the most successful horses of all time, Ali Sheba, won the Derby in the Breeders' Cup Classic, raced in the name of his late wife, Dorothy, and his daughter, Pamela. Came to the Travers and finished a very disappointing 6th in 1987 on a sloppy track. Now, Scarborough, 88 years old in Midland, Texas, is home watching as he brings another horse to the Spa. He says the Lord has blessed him to have a horse this good, this late in life, and 50 Shades of Gold is a pretty talented filly. She's a big, lanky, gray filly who actually has a full sister to Ali Sheba, 3 generations back in her pedigree. Look at those Ali Sheba silks coming down the stretch at Churchill Downs. She won the debutante by 8 lengths after setting a very fast pace, 3 horses deep around the turn. Clearly the horse to beat in here.
Ali Sheba, a Derby winner, a Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Jerry, but you have fillies in this race coming in from all over the place. Kentucky, Delaware, Iowa. You even have a filly who prepped for this race on dirt. She prepped on grass.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Did indeed. It wasn't really the original plan of Ken Ramsey and Mike Maker, especially Mike Maker, his trainer. shows here winning the Tippett Stakes at Colonial Downs in Virginia. Mike Maker, when called by Ramsey and asked, when is this filly going to run? He said, she's ready. She'll win anywhere you want her to run. He said, well, let's throw her in a stakes race on the grass. Not especially what Mike Maker wanted to hear, but after saying what he said, he had no recourse, and he threw her in. She won anyway. She could be better on dirt. Who knows?
True to his word, she did win. And for more on Thank You, Mary Lou, we welcome in Kenny Rice. Kenny, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lafitte. The name is born out of friendship and love. Ken and Sarah Ramsey are having a tremendous year. The leading owners in the country. They'll also be celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary. And here's the story of Thank You, Mary Lou. In 2007, Sarah suffered a stroke, went into a coma. Ken said it was the worst time of his life. He contacted his friend, John Hendrickson. There they are behind me. That's John in the green shirt and the green tie standing beside Ken Ramsey. Hendrickson's wife, Mary Lou Whitney, had earlier had a stroke, but she had made a great recovery, so he wanted some advice. John put the personal physician on a private jet from California down to Florida, where the Ramseys are, to take care of Sarah. And as you can see, 6 years later, she is still able to enjoy her two passions, her husband, Ken, and horse racing. So Ken Ramsey tells me if he ever had a special filly, a really great filly, he was going to thank Mary Lou. And because Birdstone, the winner of the Belmont Stakes, is the sire of this filly who was owned by Mary Lou Whitney, it seems so appropriate. If they win the race today, we understand Mary Lou will be down there to present the trophy to the Ramseys. If that happens, it will be one of the more emotional and loving winner's circles we'll ever see here at Saratoga. Let's go to Donna Brothers.
I'm here with Brett Calhoun, who only brought 2 horses to Saratoga with him this year. One of them was Bana, who dead heated for the win in the opening day Schuylerville Stakes. The other one, 50 Shades of Gold. Brett, how's she been training here at Saratoga?
Been training great here. We've had a couple of works here. They've both been very well. Worked great here last Sunday. A little quicker than I would have liked, but
in fact, it was the fastest work of the day at that distance.
Yeah, I was hoping to go 48 and change. She went 46-1, galloped out very well, but she did it the right way. Did it very easily. Wasn't stressed at all.
With the scratch of the one untappable, you're now in the inside post. Your thoughts about that? What kind of instructions did you give Corey?
I'm going to let Corey play it off the break. Obviously, these horses have all shown some speed. The outside looks like to be the fastest of all. We're going to see if they clear us. We'll probably just switch out, and if we make the lead, we'll just go on with her.
Good luck to you, Brett.
Thank you.
All right, Lafitte.
50 Shades of Gold, bred in Texas, as is her owner, Brett Calhoun, the Dallas native, seeking his first win in the Adirondack. When we come back, we've reached the midway point of the Saratoga meet. What do the standings look like? Owners, trainers, jockeys. John Velasquez, the new all-time leading rider at Saratoga. We'll be right back.
It begins with a...
CSN's coverage of summer at Saratoga is brought to you by Coolmore America, home of champions. By Three Chimneys, the idea is excellence. And by Saratoga Racecourse, celebrating 150 years as America's oldest thoroughbred racetrack. 2 weeks ago, aboard Unitarian, John Velasquez becoming Saratoga's all-time leading jockey, 694 wins, surpassing the mark set by Jerry Bailey. 20 days in the books, 20 left to go in this 2013 season of racing at Saratoga. Saratoga is known as being home to the best summer racing in North America, and this season has been no exception.
It will be Palace Malice and Mike Smith to win the Jim Dandy by a length.
Oh, this is my town, man. I love Saratoga.
Cross Traffic will take his place among the top handicap horses in the country with this victory in the Whitney.
But it's very rare that you see a horse start for the first time as a 4-year-old and make as much progress as quickly as he has.
And now it is Wise Dan who's taken the lead. Wise Dan in front.
He just gunned him down, and he showed everybody under adversity he can still run the way we think he can.
And not a lot of time to mess around. It's post time for the Adirondack Stakes. Randy, 50 Shades of Gold, the heavy favorite at 1-2, about to move into the starting gate.
Both of her races are substantially faster than any of the other horses in this race have ever run before. So that's why she's such a heavy favorite. Maybe the post hurts a little. I think they should just go on with her early.
And that's what I think exactly what they'll do with that kind of speed from the inside. That's the place she'll be. Maybe joined up on the front by Hop the 6, number 7. And probably coming from back is Thank You, Mary Lou. She's got a closing style anyway and designer legs.
She should be a lot better on dirt than she is on grass. She's bred for dirt, top and bottom. I don't think she really cared for the grass that much. Last time won anyway. So
the only question mark with her on grass, now dirt, is the kickback. When the dirt hits her in the face, she's probably never experienced something like that. Running on turf for the first time could be an issue. Speed should be inside and outside.
Odds on 50 Shades of Gold post time for the Grade 2 Adirondack Stakes. Here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Up the 6 there on the far outside. And trying to clear the field in the opening furlong. But here comes Who's in Town. And on the fence is 50 Shades of Gold. 50 Shades of Gold now backing out of there. Runs in third. Designer legs alongside her fourth by 3. And then it's Thanks Mary Lou and another 4.5 lengths back to the trailer Charmed Hour. Racing up the backstretch. Who's in Town? Hop the 6. The favorite 50 Shades of Gold is in behind him on the rail just to the inside of Designer legs. They whip through the opening quarter mile in 21 3/5 seconds around the far turn. Who's in Town in a serious altercation here with Hop the 6. Those two going at each other full out. Far outside Designer legs, and in behind a wall of 3 is the big favorite 50 Shades of Gold. Will there be room for her at the rail? Very, very tight for 50 Shades of Gold. Couldn't get through. Who's in Town, the leader? 50 Shades of Gold. Now there's some room for her. On the outside, Designer legs. In the final furlong now, it is Who's in Town narrowly. On the outside, Designer legs, and 50 Shades of Gold checked out of there. Down to the line, a head-bobbing finish between Who's in Town and on the outside, Designer legs, Who's in Town and Austral. Designer legs was second, close third between the troubled 50 Shades of Gold and Thanks Mary Lou.
Very rough edition of this Adirondack Stakes. It looks like Who's in Town by a head, maybe over Designer legs, and a troubled defeated favorite in 50 Shades of Gold.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Gold and Corey Lannery got pinched a little bit down the backside. He elected to take back, but more importantly, through the stretch here, you'll see circled as the winner, Who's in Town, and jockey Joel Rosario drifting in ever so slightly mid-stretch. He's already tightened it up once, but you'll see here in just a second, he tightens it up again on Corey Lannery and 50 Shades of Gold. Corey having to check out of there with that filly. We would really need to see a head-on to be definitive, because these 2-year-olds are a little skittish. They're not very well seasoned, and it could have been a case where she just didn't really want to be in there.
Here it is. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if he tightened it up too much on 50 Shades of Gold. Well, that's a little further down the stretch. The actual incident happened a little bit earlier through the lane than that, but it's going to be the head-on. It's going to be the definitive shot here to tell exactly how tight it got in there.
Big run from Designer legs. Outside, Who's in Town. Inside with Kentucky Derby winning jockey Joel Rosario. Are you expecting to see an inquiry/objection?
Oh, I think there's no doubt there'll be some kind of an inquiry, but you really have to see the head-on from further down the stretch, more mid-stretch, to see if it was the horse's reaction, 50 Shades of Gold, for being in there when it's really extremely tight, or did Who's in Town and Joel Rosario take her room away?
It's a perfect example, even in a short field, of what can happen when you're in the inside post position and things don't develop just the way you'd like them to.
What happens when you have a $200,000 purse in an Adirondack Stakes? The inquiry sign is up. Who's in Town for the time being in the first of our 2 stakes races. Stay tuned.
Want to look at the races in a totally new way? Check out Entries Plus, a free product from Equibase that is visual, fun, and interactive, and now available right on your phone.
TriStateGMC.com.
Welcome back to Saratoga. Controversy in this Adirondack Stakes. They've run the race. We still don't know who's going to wind up the winner by virtue of this inquiry, Jerry. 50 Shades of Gold inside and in all kinds of trouble.
Screen right, gray horse with the blue and white cap. 50 Shades of Gold gets squeezed by the eventual winner, number 4, Who's in Town, with the orange cap. As they come down the stretch, you can see number 4, left screen, Who's in Town coming in, taking the room away from Corey Lannery and 50 Shades of Gold. Now, what makes it worse is once it tightens up on a horse, he checks out, and 50 Shades of Gold hits the rump of Who's in Town and turns that horse in even further, making it even look worse than it actually is.
So we all think Who's in Town will be disqualified. And if Who's in Town is indeed disqualified by the stewards, the direct beneficiary is going to be Designer Legs, the 16-1 second place unofficial finisher, who then would be moved up to first.
Let's get down to Donna Brothers.
Here with Michael
Dr.
Matz, who has Who's in Town. You've talked to your jockey, Joel Rosario. Your thoughts on what happened through the stretch? Well, I guess that says it. The disappointment you must feel right now then, Michael.
Well, I mean, it's
Philly ran a good race.
no, she ran a nice race. It's very disappointment. It's pretty tight quarters there. So
Yeah, only so much you can do from your standpoint. Thanks for talking to us, guys.
Yeah, disappointing, yes, but surprise, no. Probably an easy call for the stewards. Designer Legs now the winner of the Adirondack Stakes over, thank you, Mary Lou, and 50 Shades of Gold as we check in with Kenny Rice.
All right, Lafitte, the news that we always hate to talk about occurred with Charmed Hour in this race. Dr. Scott Palmer, who's a veterinarian on call here. Scott, what has happened?
Well, unfortunately, Charmed Hour fractured his right front cannon bone coming down the stretch there. And Dr. Verderosa reported to me they had to euthanize the horse due to the catastrophic nature of the injury.
It's a situation like that where it doesn't seem there's much else can be done in these situations.
Well, it's really a terrible tragedy. It really is, Kenny, but there is nothing really to be done. The fracture was open and contaminated, and he needed to be put out of his misery for humane reasons.
And we always remind the audience, most of them know that follow horse racing, these horses are all inspected before they ever get into the starting gate.
Absolutely so. All these horses are examined before the race to make sure that they're sound before they start.
Doctor, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Sad news indeed, Lafitte.
Very sad, Kenny. Designer Legs the winner, but Charmed Hour injured and essentially euthanized following an injury sustained in the Adirondack. And Randy, surprisingly, she was not one of the fillies involved in all that bumping and jostling.
No, and there you see the winner's circle with the long shot winner, Designer Legs, owned by the Valine farm of Murray Valine. They won this race, believe it or not, back in 1993 with a horse called Astus Foxy Lady, who was making her 9th career start in the Adirondack, and they win it again at another big prize.
Is it any less sweet, Jerry, when you win one of these stakes races? I don't want to say by default, but when there is an inquiry and a disqualification involved?
No, not for the connections. I mean, a win's a win. That's great. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But she clearly wasn't the best horse. You know, the question mark is, was 50 Shades of Gold the best horse? I mean, she got bothered down the backside once before we saw what happened, and then it really badly, you know, deep stretch. So my guess is, yes, she was probably the best horse.
For the uninitiated, the offending horse, Who's in Town, was placed 4th because she has to be put behind the horse by racing rules, behind the horse she interfered with. So you didn't see her on the board, but she is officially 4th.
All right, so hopefully we'll see a cleaner second stakes race on this Sunday afternoon at Saratoga. Focusing on the 2-year-olds, we turn the page to the Saratoga Special. Lunar Warfare drawn inside a 6th-length winner in his debut. That was in Florida. Number 2, Ogre Meister, back from England. More on that momentarily. Candy Dandy is the heavy favorite. Even money with Rosie Napravnik. Number 4, Corfu, and an overlay. Wow, 5-2 on the morning line. Currently 8-1. To the outside, Twang with Joel Rosario in the saddle. Rosario disqualified following that last effort in the Adirondack. Danza and Javier Castellano, number 6. Wired Brian, second choice at 5-2. And guys, look, we know that Todd Pletcher is an all-world trainer. He has won just about every major horse race under the sun, specifically here at Saratoga, except this one.
Yeah, as dominant as he has been, it's shocking to me. And what's probably even more shocking is Johnny Velasquez, his jockey and his go-to jockey. He hasn't won it either.
Look at all the other 2-year-old stakes races that Todd has won here at Saratoga multiple times, all of them. He probably would have won the Saratoga Special last year, but he scratched what would have been the very heavy favorite
Shanghai Bobby, the eventual 2-year-old champion. So Pletcher seeking his first win in this particular event. We'll see if he's able to do so. And then you have Wired Bryant here, who is trained by a former Todd Pletcher assistant, Michael Dilger.
And you have a horse who has already won a stakes race here at the Saratoga meeting. He comes off a win in the Sanford Stakes, an easy win. That's the gray horse in front, flipping his tail every time Sean Bridgmohan hits him with a whip or shows it to him. A 5 1/4 length winner of that race, but the time was not especially fast. So you have to question the quality of the competition. That's why he may not even be the favorite in the Saratoga Special.
Last Saratoga Special winner to win the Kentucky Derby, Claiborne Farms Swale. Back in 1983, he won the Derby in '84. Time now to get the viewers involved in our Twitter question this afternoon. What's your favorite thing about Saratoga? Submit your response. Use the hashtag Saratoga and let us know your favorite aspect of the Saratoga racing experience as we check in with Donna Brothers. Donna.
You know, there's a couple of world travelers in this race today. Rosina Pravnik actually rode in England yesterday. She flew out of Heathrow Airport at 7:30 last night, got into JFK at 11:30 p.m., drove to her house by Belmont Park in New York, got there at 2 a.m., and then drove here to Saratoga Springs this morning. Why did she drive here? Because she had a 9-hour flight delay on her way over to England just like 4 days ago, so she didn't want to have any more flight delays. But Ogelmeister, the number 2 in here, is trying to trump her globetrotting. Ogelmeister is a horse who broke his maiden in May at Belmont Park. From there, he went to Kentucky. In June, he went over to England and raced at Royal Ascot on June 18th. From there, he went back to Kentucky. Now he's up here in upstate New York, and I talked to his trainer, Wesley Ward. He ran in a race over there in which he ran 15th out of 24 horses. Wesley said he came out of the race fine. He just did not like the turf course, just turf in general. He said, I think he's meant for dirt. He said, but with all the experience he's had, I think he's perfect to let the rest of these horses go and just sit back and try to make one late run, Lafitte. Let's go to Kenny Rice.
All right, thanks, Donna. Well, he looked like a dandy. Candy Dandy did the last time out in Kentucky. Steve Asmussen is here trying to win this race for a 4th time. So first off, let me ask you, why is this race significant in terms of just your planning for a 2-year-old when you get a good one and you try to map out a course, Steve?
Well, all of the 2-year-old stakes here at Saratoga are extremely significant. You know, Candy Dandy's 2-year-old ran extremely well first time out at Churchill. Pleased with his performance there. He's trained well here at Saratoga, but definitely putting him in the deep water today.
Well, in this deep water, how does he swim out of it in a perfect scenario for you?
Well, I do like the fact that he did settle off of a couple speed horses in his first race, because it looks like there's a lot of speed in this race. Rosie's been riding extremely well, got along with him good the first time, and we're hoping for a repeated effort.
All right, good luck, Steve.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Lafitte.
All right, Kenny, Steve Asmussen, who campaigned the great Curlin, winner of the Woodward here in 2008. But the star of the show yesterday, Wise Dan, the reigning horse of the year, reigning supreme in the 4-star Dave Becoming. Only the 2nd horse to win this event in back-to-back years, make it 8 straight for the top-ranked racehorse in North America. And when we come back, a look ahead to Saratoga's marquee event, the Travers, on August 24th. This was just about an hour and a half ago. That's Kentucky Derby winner Orb arriving from Fair Hill in Maryland. Hall of Fame trainer Shug McGahee gearing him up for the Travers Stakes in less than 2 weeks. We'll be right back.
Nobody covers the biggest days in racing like daily racing.
Leading. Because there is a finish line in our sport. And we love to get there first.
Can Alpha catch Golden Ticket? Golden Ticket Alpha. And here's the wire. It is. Oh, it's too close to call. Oh, it was desperately close.
It's a dead heat.
I don't think you can fathom any words, but wow.
The dead heat heard around the world. Alpha and Golden Ticket in last year's Travers Stakes. Summer at Saratoga resumes next Saturday with the Grade 1 Alabama Stakes. August 24th is the Travers Saratoga signature event featuring Kentucky Derby winner Orb. And finally, on Labor Day weekend, the Woodward, Forgo, and Bernard Baruch. Yet another Saratoga tradition is the painting of the canoe in the colors of the Travers winner. 2 winners last year, so we have 2 canoes. Who will win this year's Travers Stakes? We'll find out in less than 2 weeks. With impressive victories by both of his top colts 2 weekends ago, his trainer Todd Pletcher looks ahead to this month's $1 million Travers Stakes. A good summer could be getting even better.
Well, both of these were horses that we thought a lot of as 2-year-olds. They're horses that have gone through the Derby Trail and come out of it in very good shape.
And Verrazano and John Velasquez have blown away their competition.
There kind of been some questions leading into that. Could he be a 1.25 mile horse? Could he run in the Travers? And I think he answered all those questions. Palace Malice always shown that the talent is there, and we're just sort of waiting for him to put it all together and really learn how to finish a race.
2 weeks ago at the Spa, Palace Malice showed that his Belmont victory was no fluke with a convincing win in the Jim Dandy Stakes. His competitors have taken notice.
I thought he ran a great race here in the Jim Dandy, but you know, I think that when he sees Orb this time, he's going to see a little bit different horse than he saw last time.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb is poised to return to competition in the Travers after a 12-week freshening in the wake of his third-place finish in the Belmont. Hall of Fame trainer Shug McGahee used that time to reassess his strategy against Pletcher's horses.
With the speed that Todd's 2 horses have got, I think we're going to have to get him out of the gate and get him up in the race. We're not going to be able to spot those horses too many lengths and be able to beat them.
Orb, Palace Malice, Verrazano get tied on, racing fans. This one, Jerry, is going to be special.
It might be hard to trump a dead heat, but this year we might be able to do it with the 3 marquee horses that we're going to have. I mean, I'm not convinced myself that Verrazano has proven he can go 1.25 miles. I mean, I think that's the biggest question mark that he has. But I am convinced, looking at Orb coming off that van, that he looks a different horse than he did going into the Belmont. So, you know, I think he will rebound. Whether he can beat Palace Malice and Verrazano is yet to be seen, but he will come a different horse. He looks much better.
As you look at the odds for the Saratoga Special, Candy Dandy, 6-5 for Shug McGahee. He won the '89 Travers with Easy Goer. He'll try for a second with Orb. Well, from one iconic venue to another this fall, follow NBC and the NBC Sports Network to Santa Anita for the 2013 Breeders' Cup World Championships, November 1st and 2nd on NBC and the NBC Sports Network. These 3-year-old races, guys, that we get set for in the Travers, essentially, we could maybe see those horses coming up in the Breeders' Cup Classic later on this fall, in many cases with Horse of the Year on the line. Well, around these parts, the sales at Saratoga are just important as the races themselves. And just last week, the sales took place once again, much like the NFL draft, where future prospects are evaluated and essentially purchased. Earlier this week, a century-old tradition continued as the Fasig-Tipton Select Sale of Yearlings was held. This year's sale featured 137 yearlings, including one who caught a great deal of attention.
And Cross Traffic will take his place among the top handicap horses in the country.
After Cross Traffic's win last Saturday in the Whitney Stakes, his half-brother was put up for auction on Tuesday night. Sold the Fox Hill Farm for the price of $600,000. There is no more essential place for the horse industry than Saratoga. And there is Candy Dandy, 6-5 for the upcoming Saratoga Special. Perhaps the most talented 2-year-old in the field, chasing the winner's share of the $200,000 purse in the Grade 2 Saratoga Special.
Visit drf.com today.
6 minutes out to the Grade 2 Saratoga Special. Even money on Candy Dandy. A post parade coming up, but first an update on John Velasquez with Donna Brothers. Donna.
Yeah, I caught up with Johnny before he got on his horse in this race. He's on the number 4 Corfu, but of course he was on the horse that had the mishap in the last race and unfortunately broke down. The horse didn't fall down, but because of the way that she broke down, Johnny did indeed tumble off of her. But I asked Johnny if he was okay, and he said not a scratch. He felt bad for the horse, but he's fine. You know how these athletes are, Lafitte. He's back up and ready to get a good run in this race.
These jockeys are tough, and to be involved in a spill and come right back and ride. Sad news involving the Philly Charmed Hour, but John Velasquez will ride in the Saratoga Special on Corfu, who is 7-1. Surprisingly, a big overlay. But then you have Candy Dandy, who is the even money favorite, Randy, and the daily racing form subject of this breeding profile.
And we're going to focus on Candy Dandy sire, who's one of the most underrated thoroughbred racehorses of the past 25 years. Candy Ride, trained by Ron McAnally. All he did was have 6 starts and 6 victories, 3 in Argentina, 3 in the U.S. In his last career start, he defeated Medaglia d'Oro in the Pacific Classic, one of the strongest races of the Pacific Classic ever run. Now he stands at Lanes Inn Farm in Lexington, Kentucky.
So what you're saying is Candy Dandy is bred to get better with distance and as he gets older.
Yes.
We'll see him in the post parade. There is Lunar Warfare. His sire was a champion, Warpass, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in 2007.
Note the daily racing form buyer speed figure of 92. It's by far the fastest in this race, and this horse is 7-1, but the inside post could be a disadvantage. 1-for-1 lifetime.
This is the daily racing form post parade. Number 2, Ogre Meister, well-traveled gelding, already to England and back.
Owned and trained by Wesley Ward, ridden for the first time by young Jose Ortiz. He climbs aboard because his regular jockey, Joel Rosario, has jumped over to Twang.
Number 3 is Candy Dandy, Rosie Napravnik, who rode last year's 2-year-old champ, Shanghai Bobby.
Why such a heavy favorite? He not only won by 5 lengths in his career debut at Churchill Downs, the horse that finished second came back and won at Saratoga, and the horse that finished third behind him came back and won at Saratoga.
Number 4 is Corfu, and Todd Pletcher seeking his 5th graded stakes win of the meet.
We mentioned earlier, Todd's never won this race. Johnny's never won this race. But today, they both won 3 together, so it's a hot team.
In a groove, Pletcher and Velasquez. What else is new? Number 5 is Twang, owned by the Claiborne Farm, who won this event 30 years ago with Swale.
He may or may not be the fastest in the field, but he's got the best name. His sire is Dixie Union, and his dam is Spoken. A Dixie Twang in here.
Number 6 is Danza, who, with jockey Javier Castellano, he won this race with Union Rags 2 years ago.
He did, and trained by Todd Pletcher. And this is Todd Pletcher's other horse. Expect Corfu to be the front runner. Danza, he's going to book in it. He'll probably come from back.
Number 7, Wired Brian. Michael Dilger has won 2 races in his career. Make it 3 races, 2 of them with this colt.
You can't really fault 2 career starts, combined winning margins of 12.5 lengths. Wired Brian, owned by Anita and Stuart Subotnick, who've had some pretty good horses as owners in the past.
And that's the field for the 2013 Saratoga Special Grade 2 event. 2-year-old sprinting 6.5 furlongs. The purse, $200,000. Post time when we come back.
Then another? Do this instead. Take 1 5-hour energy. In minutes, foggy and sluggish is gone. Hello, clear and alert. 5-hour energy. Take it after lunch. Be clear and alert for hours.
There's no time for slowing down. No room for letting up. And the faster you can learn to seize every moment, the farther this ride can take you. Because August doesn't last forever. The moment at hand, a test of 2-year-olds over 6.5 furlongs of distinguished dirt. A challenge for those without the benefit of experience on their side. So whether you're burdened by pre-race butterflies or consumed by a confidence that can only spring from youth, it doesn't matter. The moment you've been waiting for is now. The Saratoga Special is moments away. And welcome back, everyone, to Saratoga Racecourse. Donna Brothers, Kenny Rice, Jerry Bailey, Randy Moss. I'm Lafitte Pinkai, and there's the updated odds for this Saratoga Special. Candy Dandy. Odds on 4-5. Solid support for Wired Brian at 7-2. Also Lunar Warfare and Twang, both at 8-1. But time now for the DRF Formulator fact, Randy, involving the 2 Pletcher trainees.
Yeah, you can go to drf.com and get all sorts of statistics like this via Formulator. Todd Pletcher, not just the king at Saratoga from a training perspective. His 2-year-olds are exceptionally effective up here. Look at that win percentage, 37% over the past 3 years. And he's got a couple in here, Corfu and Danza. Speed and off the pace. Got both ends covered.
Has to be wondering, with all those 2-year-olds and all that success at Saratoga, how he has never won a Saratoga Special. We'll see if he can do so here with either Danza or Corfu as we check in with Kenny Rice.
Thanks, Lafitte. I talked to Al Stahl, the trainer of Twang. It was 15 days ago that Twang won over this track at 6 furlongs. Al said the reason he's bringing him back in a relatively quick period of time is a simple fact that he's a big, strong, young-looking horse. And he says, you know, at this stage in the game, when they win as easily as he did by over 3 lengths, it's a good time to take a step into the deeper waters. Steve Asmussen said the same thing about deeper waters earlier. Donna, everybody's going into deeper waters here, these 2-year-olds already.
No question about that, Kenny Rice. The number 7, Wired Brian, is trained by Michael Dilger. And Michael Dilger is used to work for Todd Pletcher. He was actually with Todd for 7 years, most of those times as his assistant trainer. He just went out on his own this year, and he's already beat his mentor when he won the Grade 2 Sanford Stakes with Wired Brian. Todd's horse, All in Blue, finished 4th in there. This time, Pletcher brings a team of 2 in to try to beat his former student, Lafitte.
Yeah, Donna, Wired Brian, 2 daylight wins by a combined 12+ lengths. How much upside does he have moving forward, Jerry?
Well, the post is a great advantage for him because it's, even though Corfu's the fastest horse in the race, it's the horse laying second that dictates how fast he'll go, how fast he wants to push the lead horse. So, I mean, it's Wired Brian that's going to be in a stalking catbird position, deciding how fast they go early. And a horse like Lunar Warfare, who comes off the lead, he's going to be in a great position. He's going to be 2 or 3 lengths off the lead, but the question is, can he work a trip out? We just saw what happened from an inside post to 50 Shades of Gold.
Michael Yates, his trainer, the trainer of Lunar Warfare, bringing him up to Saratoga with the for sale sign. That's what Yates does. He sells his horses. He's already had huge offers for this horse, but not quite huge enough for his liking. If he wins, he'll probably get what he wants.
So a lot on the line for Lunar Warfare, and certainly Michael Yates looking to put forth a primetime performance. And then Corfu overlaid, surprisingly, Jerry. 5-2 on the morning line. He's 6-1 at post time.
Yeah, he's pretty much one-dimensional. Todd Pletcher indicated he'll probably be one of the 2 horses he has that'll go to the lead. So he's going to get some heat early. He's probably going to get pressured all the way to the middle of the stretch. It'd be hard to believe that he could hold on to a lead after the heat he takes early.
They've known he was fast for a long time. They bought him back in March for almost $700,000 out of a sale in which he worked a 1/4 mile in 20 4/5 seconds. So speed has never been an issue for Corfu.
Danza and Javier Castellano. What do we know about him as he gets set to, well, what they're hoping would be his 2nd consecutive victory?
Well, he's another one like Wired Brian who has an outermost post. He can stalk from the outside. The question is his quality. Is he good enough to be able to run down these horses and hold off the closers like Candy Dandy and Lunar Warfare?
His maiden win considerably slower than Corfu's, especially from a pace perspective.
Todd Pletcher's former assistant, Michael Dilger. Wired Brian he trains, and slightly reluctant to load. Now he steps forward. It is post time for the Grade 2 Saratoga Special Stakes. Here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Corfu breaking sharply. And Wired Brian is right there, too. And those 2 hook up in the opening 100 yards here. Candy Dandy runs into 3rd. Dances on the outside of Twang, who's in between horses. 2 lengths back to Lunar Warfare. And Ogermeister is the trailer. Corfu, the leader down the backstretch. And his gray shadow is Wired Brian. Just in behind them, it's Candy Dandy at the rail. A sizzling opening quarter. 21 3/5 seconds. Corfu with blazing speed around the far turn. Now opens up 2.5 lengths here. Wired Brian is on the chase. 2nd, Candy Dandy, 3rd to the inside. Twang's about 5 lengths from the lead. Lunar Warfare, Danzer, and Ogermeister. They're coming to the top of the stretch. It's still Corfu. A half mile in a bruising 44 seconds flat. Corfu's in front. Wired Brian right next to him with 3/16 to go. 3 lengths back. Candy Dandy 3rd. On the far outside, Lunar Warfare. Danza at the rail. Corfu is still hanging in there. Wired Brian with a final lunge as they come down to the finish. Danza 3rd. Can Corfu hold on? It appeared he did. Very, very close at the end with Wired Brian. They were nostrils apart at the end. Danza was a fast closing 3rd in Lunar Warfare.
It comes down to the student and the teacher. Todd Pletcher's Corfu, Michael Dilger's Wired Brian, hitting the wire simultaneously in the 2013 Saratoga Special.
It's a big effort by Corfu, especially if you look up at the board and see the fractions. 21 and 3, 44 flat, 8 and just a small amount of change. I mean, terrific performance. I don't know if he hung on, but it was a gutsy performance.
He showed guts when he won in his career debut. It was only a 5-furlong race, but it was an exceptionally fast-paced race. You saw his speed. You know, he looked like they may catch him all the way down the lane, but he held on tenaciously, and it looks like he got the nod here. In stakes record time, all right, 1:15 and 4/5 seconds, or 3/5 seconds, but this is the fastest surface of the Saratoga meeting today, 1:15.57.
Take another look. Deep stretch Corfu, purple colors, John Velasquez, and to the outside, Jerry Wired Bryan and Sean Bridgman breathing down his neck.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that Wired Bryan would be the horse that would press Corfu on the lead, and how fast he made him go early would probably set it up or not for the closers. Sean probably didn't tie into him early enough, but if you look at the board, you can say, well, how could he go any faster early when he had a perfect position?
Close. That is so close. How about Pletcher on the inside with Danza closing strong?
Who took off late towards an opening on the rail. Photo is down, and it is Corfu by a flared nostril over Wired Bryan and Danza. Corfu, and finally, a Saratoga special for Todd Pletcher.
And Johnny Velasquez. 5 wins on the day for John. His first Saratoga special, so all kinds of things, magical things happening for Pletcher and Velasquez.
They were both 0 for 7 in the Saratoga special coming in, so congratulations to those two guys.
Seeing is believing by that much.
Oh.
By that much.
And Durkin called it.
a bruising half mile, he described it, 44 flat for the first part of this Saratoga special. And Jerry, that's the life of a jockey. He wins 4 races. Then he's face down in the dirt. He's in a spill, and now he's about to enter the winner's circle after winning a graded stakes race, Corfu and John Velasquez. Kenny Rice standing by with winning trainer Todd Pletcher.
Thanks, Lafitte. Well, it's no news that he's in the winner's circle. It's news that he's in the winner's circle for this race, Todd. You finally win it.
I know. We've ran a couple in here over the years that haven't been able to do it. We're very, very proud of this horse to, come back on short rest and stretch from 5 to 6.5 and get it done.
17 days, I believe.
Yeah. He came out of the race really well, and we felt like it was time to go ahead and take a shot.
What about this race? The early fractions, it kept getting faster, it seems. What were you thinking in that duel coming down?
Yeah, I was concerned it was a little too fast early, but we wanted to take advantage of his speed, and luckily he had enough to hold on.
I know you're used to the pattern for good 2-year-olds where to go. Do you think down the road about Corfu right now?
I think we'll come back in the hopeful if he bounces back well. He likes the track, and we'll take advantage of it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Todd Pletcher with the victory with Corfu, the first time he has won this race, and he's won, as you guys know, about everything else here at Saratoga over the years.
That's right, Kenny. And Pletcher, who had hoped of running Shanghai Bobby in this event a season ago, he scratched, he could not run. Still wound up being the 2-year-old champ with a victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Now Pletcher gets his Saratoga special, Corfu by a nose. As for Johnny V, John Velasquez, the win yesterday with Wise Dan and the 4-star Dave, and today with Corfu in the Grade 2 Saratoga special. We'll be right back.
Today on the NBC Sports Network and continues on NBC.
NBCSN's coverage of summer at Saratoga is brought to you by Saratoga Racecourse, celebrating 150 years as America's oldest thoroughbred racetrack. And by TwinSpires.com. Bet Saratoga online with your smartphone at TwinSpires.com, where players win. Corfu Saratoga special winner, Todd Pletcher 4 wins, John Velasquez 5, Randy, and a wise investment by Corfu's owners, the Coolmore Group.
Yeah, Michael Tabor, John Magner, and Derek Smith usually breed their horses. They bought this one for $675,000 back in March. That stakes record time, no surprise, given how fast the racetrack's been all day.
Let's get down to Donna.
Johnny, what a day for you. 5th winner on the card. You get your first win in this stake. Talk to us about the fight that Corfu showed you through the stretch today.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of the way he did it. I mean, we were rolling even the first part of the race. I was trying to give him a chance and try to get...
You mentioned that first part of the race. They were pretty quick. Was he trying to be too aggressive?
He was. At first, I did ask him to come out of there, just to make sure I clear the horse in the inside. I thought the horse was going to have a lot of speed, and I didn't want to be a 3-duel, and between the horse inside and obviously... Sean Bridgman on the horse on the outside. So once I took that one out, and then I kind of tried to get him to relax, and as fast as we were going, he was already gone, so I couldn't fight him too much.
Too late to relax.
Yeah, it was too late to relax.
Here's the stretch drive. What's going through your mind here?
But, he got down the stretch, man. He fought the whole way around, I got after him. And he was getting tired. He definitely was getting tired, obviously, as fast as we were going in the first part of the race. But he put a good fight down the lane.
When they put their noses down on the wire, did you think he had it?
No, it was very close. It was really close. I was very undecided. It's like, did he got me or didn't? Or did I still hold on to it? Just come back and I saw it. I held on to it, so I was very glad.
Well done to you. Let's go back to Lafitte. Johnny Velasquez in the middle of another solid meet at Saratoga. Lafitte.
Corfu, the sire, Malibu Moon, same sire that produced Orb, this year's Kentucky Derby winner. Well, we touched on the Travers and the 3-year-olds that'll be running for the Midsummer Derby. Next week, the female equivalent of the Travers, the Alabama Stakes. 3-year-olds going 1.25 miles, chasing the winner's share of a $500,000 purse. You'll have a chance to see Princess of Sylmar, winner of the Kentucky Oaks, and Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks. Saturday at 5 Eastern, Summer at Saratoga coverage continues with the Alabama and Sword Dancer Invitational. Summer at Saratoga continues next Saturday at 5 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. For Donna Brothers, Kenny Rice, Jerry Bailey, Randy Moss, I'm Lafitte Pinkai saying so long from Saratoga. Have a great night, everyone.